Another day of battle.
We have begun, and I emphasize we have only begun to strike at Hamas.
Death toll rising amidst the escalating Israel-Gaza conflict. A dual struggle.
To those who thought it was a good idea to throw over the speaker, please reevaluate.
As House members circulate on the House Speaker decision and the attacks on Israel. And taking all necessary preventions.
It's not worth going for your social event or work when you can stay at home and hopefully prevent your colleagues or family members and friends from getting sick.
The season of respiratory viruses is fastly approaching. These stories and more coming up on Newsbreak.
Good morning, South Florida. I'm Julian Davis.
I'm Samantha Gutierrez. Today is Tuesday, October 10th, 2023.
Live from the Lee Caplin School of Journalism and Media in North Miami, this is Caplin News.
A war zone in Gaza this morning as Israel and Hamas trade rocket fire. While the war zone between Israel and Gaza continues, U.S. political leaders are standing with Israel to show their support.
Coverage of the Israel war and the political fallout begins this morning with CNN's Reed Binion.
We have begun, and I emphasize we have only begun to strike at Hamas.
Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu vowing that military retaliation on Gaza will only intensify after Hamas's brutal terror attacks in Israel.
The images of the devastation and destruction from the Hamas strongholds in Gaza are just the beginning.
Hundreds of Palestinians have been killed after hundreds of Israelis were killed and kidnapped in Hamas's surprise weekend incursion and bloody assault.
Nothing can justify pulling innocent children from their homes, murdering them, dragging them through the streets.
New York Mayor Eric Adams joining political leaders from across the U.S. from both parties in condemning the Hamas attacks and pledging to stand with Israel.
We will see once again the steadfast resolve of the people of this state and this nation to stand alongside the Jewish people and the nation of Israel.
We stand with Israel.
Those pledges of support coming as Hamas threatens to broadcast the executions of hostages if Israel targets people in Gaza without warning. I'm Reed Binion reporting.
The House Republicans plan big days ahead. They're meeting to pick a new speaker after they voted out Kevin McCarthy last week. But the House is divided, and that means no business until they get a leader, even if the business is Israel. CNN's Emily Schmidt reports on the dual pressure to get the House in order and to react on what's happening in the world.
Kevin McCarthy began his Monday news conference talking about helping Israel.
Now is the time for action.
He said the same on his social media account, but the House can't act on anything until it finds his replacement.
To those who thought it was a good idea to throw over the speaker, please reevaluate.
Interim House Speaker Patrick McHenry also posted his support for Israel, though his power is limited to overseeing a new speaker election. So while some House members are circulating a pro-Israel resolution, it is stuck in limbo with no leader.
First thing I would put on the floor is the resolution on Israel.
House Judiciary Chair Jim Jordan is running for Speaker, as is House Majority Leader Steve Scalise. They're meeting behind closed doors, trying to get support, but there's no indication either has the 217 votes needed to win. Some speculate the former speaker could reclaim his position, a long shot he hasn't ruled out.
The conference decides that. I don't decide that.
The Hamas attacks on Israel show what else is now on the line. The Pentagon says it needs Congress to approve more money to help Israel and Ukraine simultaneously.
In terms of our capacity to expand production and then to also pay for the munitions themselves, we need additional support from Congress, so I hope we'll see that soon.
The first speaker vote could happen as soon as Wednesday, with a lot more than leadership riding on the outcome. I'm Emily Schmidt reporting.
The situation is all clear on the campus of the University of Florida after scare during a candlelight vigil for Israel. The video is shocking, but it ended up being a false alarm. During the vigil, a stampede occurred that led to more than a dozen injuries. According to witnesses, a sound from a fall scared the crowd. An estimated 1,000 people were in attendance.
A third-party candidate is in place this morning for the presidential election. Robert F. Kennedy Jr. announced yesterday in Philadelphia that he will run for president, but not in the Democratic primary. Kennedy is proposing an anti-corruption by going against the traditional two-party system in corporations. Democrats fear he will draw votes away from President Biden. Kennedy has campaign stops planned for Texas, Florida, and Georgia.
Hispanic Americans are 1.5 times more likely to develop Alzheimer's than non-Hispanic Americans. This progressive and irreversible disease causes loss of memory and thinking skills. In the early stages, people may have some memory lapses, but it worsens in the middle stages, causing moodiness and confusion. In the late stage, people often require around-the-clock care. Prevention practices include exercise and controlling diabetes as well as high cholesterol.
As the holiday season creeps up, so do contagious respiratory viruses. But there are things you can do to help prevent infection. CNN reporter Mandy Gaither has more on how not to get sick this fall and winter.
Across much of the U.S., illnesses are starting to tick up.
This is a season where respiratory viruses typically occur.
Overall, COVID-19 levels are currently dipping, but it remains a concern, causing nearly all virus-related hospitalizations since the start of the year, according to the CDC. Some major cities, including New York and Washington, D.C., are already starting to see high levels of healthcare visits for respiratory virus symptoms. Georgia and New Mexico are also seeing moderate levels. But you can protect yourself, and that starts with practicing healthy habits, says Dr. Jesse Bracamonte with Mayo Clinic.
Make sure you're getting plenty of rest. You're eating healthy, you exercise, you're taking care of yourself.
This season, there are also vaccines to prevent against 3 major respiratory illnesses: flu, RSV, and COVID-19.
These are effective for helping prevent severe threatening infection of these viruses, so consider that.
Bracamonte says if you're sick, stay home. That'll help stop the spread and protect those who are vulnerable to severe illness.
It's not worth going for your social event or work when you can stay at home and hopefully prevent your colleagues or family members and friends from getting sick.
And finally, don't forget to wash those hands. For Health Minute, I'm Mandy Gaither.
A mystery was solved on Fort Myers Beach after part of a cash register washes ashore.
That's ahead, and so is this story.
Now, if we can get all of our players in this, then that would mean we would have 100% level playing field.
Augmented reality makes its way onto college football fields. Newsbreak will be back in 2 minutes.
The black truck? Hey, Christina from accounting.
Yeah, hi.
Hey, I used to date a girl named Christina.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and then she dumped me for my best friend. You want to see some photos of them that I took?
I don't.
I thought we talked about this, buddy.
Buzzed and overshared again?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm gonna call a car.
That's a smart idea.
So yeah, I know, that's why I did it.
Hey, you're gonna get back to the top of the mountain.
Does that mean I'm gonna get back with Christina?
No.
Oh.
No.
There are a lot of ways to reach out to a friend about their mental health. Learn how you can help at seizetheawkward.org.
Bill is a family man. He invests his money wisely and provides a good life for his children. Just one problem. He often opens emails from senders he doesn't know, and his computer is not password protected. One day, Bill checked his bank account and 94% of malware attacks originate from emails. Don't be like Bill. Take your cybersecurity seriously.
New technology aims to level the playing field for a college football team that can communicate by speaking to each other. Until this weekend, inventing the huddle was this university's claim to fame for the hearing impaired in our nation's capital.
Now they're experimenting with technology that could make the huddle unnecessary. Reporter Paloma Pimentel from our DC bureau filed this report from their game on Saturday.
The hard of hearing quarterbacks in Gallaudet University are playing this afternoon with a helmet that many describe as a complete game changer. AT&T collaborated with Gallaudet University in Washington, D.C., the global leader in education for deaf and hard of hearing students, to create the first prototype of a new helmet that instantly transmits signals between the quarterback and the coach. The team's senior public relations manager explains that before, the coach was on the sidelines hand signaling to get the key quarterback's attention. This proved impractical because it created confusion, penalties, and game delays. With this new helmet, the coach can now use an iPad that sends signals directly to the quarterback, displaying the information over their right eye and allowing the coach to command the team live. We spoke to Brandon Washington, one of the quarterbacks that utilized this special helmet, and Chuck Goldstein, the head coach, on the team's future with the arrival of this breakthrough technology.
I'm really happy that we won today because it was 0-4. Now we 1-4, going into conference play. So I'm really excited about what happened.
It helped kind of bridge the gap. We got closer today. We really got closer today. And the future, if we can get all of our players in this, then that would mean we would have 100% level playing field.
This innovative technology is still under development and hopes to receive safety inspection approval from the National Collegiate Athletic Association by next year. The Gallaudet team anticipates improved performance and a successful football season this year. I am Paloma Pimentel in D.C. reporting for Caplin News.
A mystery, which began with part of a cash register washing ashore in Fort Myers Beach, has been solved this morning. A high tide in late September brought with it the cash drawer that goes under a register. The woman who found it could not open it, so she turned it over to the police. Officers say the only green inside was seaweed, not cash. Stick around, you're watching Newsbreak, and we're coming right back.
Radcliffe Art and Design Incubator is the velocity accompanying the fellow's rudder, as in a boat. Unless there is movement or action, the planned direction is of little consequence. We encourage the creative ideas into action, and from the experience of doing, we critically assess the feedback, adjust, and set out to rediscover the potentialities of an entrepreneurial mindset.
Stem is precise, no margin for error.
Dare to forget that. Dare to have fun with it. Get weird with it. Dare to send those old STEM theories flying past the neighbor's house into outer space. Dare to program something internet-breaking, record-breaking. Dare to blow their minds. Dare to learn the difference between sedimentary and metamorphic rock. Go find those rocks. Dare to keep daring. Dare to STEM. Check out She Can STEM to get started.
That's all the time we have for Newsbreak. I'm Samantha Gutierrez.
And I'm Julian Davis. Get more news anytime at caplinnews.fiu.edu.